Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to start out by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakal Kadash, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai being whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, Bahashem meaning in the name, Rakal meaning spirit, Kadash meaning holy. Alright, these are the names and the powers that I come to you in order to profess the 100% truth. And Lord's will seal the elect's faith, right? Shani Kabaga will recobs a clean number eighth, meaning double honor to the elders and apostles of GMS in these times, whom the Heavenly Father had enlisted the 100% truth to. And Shalom wa Barakum Labakan Shiashala. Alright. Peace and blessings be upon the elected the nation of Israel, and to the men out there that's pushing this word in sincerity and truth. To you I say Shalom wa Barakum Ma'atham. Peace and blessings be upon you. As you can see, I'm traveling, so forgive me for not having my garment. But you know, I just wanted to make a quick point because you know, I've been delving into the book of Wisdom of Solomon for like the past 3 weeks. I want to say 2 weeks, could be 3. Nevertheless, in the midst of reading the book, you know, there's a lot of talk about wisdom and the value of wisdom. And you know, one of the most meaningful things that I feel like I've read, or to me that's stood to me the most, was in Wisdom of Solomon, the 8th chapter, when it said, you know, to be allied with wisdom is something along the lines of like the key to immortality, right? And I just kind of thought about, you know, what does it actually take for us to obtain wisdom? What does it actually take for us to be able to be an ally to wisdom itself? You know, in the Ibariyat is Chacham or Chachama, right? I think Chacham is wise and Chachama is like wisdom. Nonetheless, you know, I ask myself, like, what does it take for you to actually be aligned with wisdom? And really, it takes a reformation of your mind, of your deeds, of your conduct, of your whole entire life collectively. In order for you to be acquainted with wisdom, you have to be reformed entirely to a new person, to where you're suitable enough for wisdom to actually dwell with. And that takes a lot of practice, and furthermore, it takes a lot of scrutiny. And furthermore, it also takes a lot of examination, because there are things that you do within yourself, or that you may have done prior to coming into the truth, that is a deed that wisdom cannot dwell with. Because remember, within the same book, it says, into a malicious soul, wisdom will not enter. So if wisdom sees any sort of malice or any sort of negligence toward Yahweh Shai, Shai, because remember that if you read within Wisdom of Solomon 2, it also tells you that this trait, wisdom, is legitimately directly from the Lord, right? And then if you read in the 7th chapter, it tells you all the fruits of wisdom, right? So within that, you got to understand that wisdom is going to search. Wisdom pierceth all things. So being the fact that wisdom pierceth all things, is going to search within you to see if it can dwell within you. And if it finds anything that is off-putting, wisdom will not dwell with you. And again, wisdom will preserve you. Wisdom, and thus saith the scriptures. I think it says, no, it says discretion shall preserve thee. Which this having discretion is a form of wisdom. So like it. Having discretion is a form of wisdom. So the fact of the matter is, Salakia, reforming your mind, reforming your body, reforming your soul to align with the ways of Yahweh Shai is a task in which we all have to undergo in order for us to obtain immortality through wisdom. We're not going to obtain it any other way. We have to have the trait of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the 100% truth, which is spiritually Yahweh Shai HaMashiach himself, okay? Because he is a resemblance of that. So the only way for us to obtain the kingdom of heaven is if we have those attributes and those traits in which you have to labor to obtain. All right, it's not just, oh, one day you wake up, you stub your toe, and now you got wisdom. No, it's like the way that we work physically to obtain a check is the way that you're supposed to work internally in order for you to obtain wisdom. It's the same effort, with not more effort, the same construct. You have to actually physically plow, and the way that you plow is you dig deep, and the way that you dig deep is you read. You actually have to read. You actually have to go within reading. You have to dissect, you know, the actual precept in which you're reading. And there, when you go into details, when you go into words, when you find out the meaning of those words, and then you have the knowledge of it, you come back to that and you read it again. And also, we'll also pair that too, is when the Heavenly Father gives you experiences that align with the precept. That is how you are able to obtain the understanding. Therefore, you're able to obtain the wisdom within that situation. All right? It's like it. So, I said all this to say that obtaining wisdom is a laborious work. It's not just, you know, something that is granted to you based off of how good you look or how well you speak. None of the outside contributing factors will cater to the factor of you obtaining wisdom. You actually legitimately have to, number one, work, and number two, be reformed. But number one really is being reformed. So again, I say this too. The Reformation doesn't stop with just, okay, I follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shem Shai. So yeah, I don't get lineups. Yeah, I don't eat pork. Yeah, I don't eat certain foods, but I eat all this fucking junk food that is lawful to me. No, you have to have an actual healthy lifestyle. Like, I'm thinking about Ezra or Ezra's, either or, same man, same forefather, right? When he was given a vision, I think it was in 2nd Ezra. It might have been the 7th, might have been the 7th, 8th chapter. I forgot when he got the vision of the woman. She was crying in the field. I forgot where it was specifically, but a woman, she came and she was crying in the field right next to him because she was mourning of her son that died during the time of marriage. So she said she's gonna stay there. She's gonna basically kill, like she's gonna mourn herself to death. He started to comfort her. Prior to that, in order for him getting that vision, in order for him to get that vision, the Heavenly Father commanded of him to only eat of the flowers of the field. So his physical body had to be in the right standing, health standing, in order for him to obtain that vision. If he was disobedient, he wouldn't have been able to obtain that vision. But the fact of the matter is, that one key factor right there shows you that wisdom, because he extracted the wisdom, that whole vision was a resemblance of the wisdom of Yahweh Shema Shai, and showing him, you know, a split image of you know, essentially the circumstances of that time. I'm speaking very vaguely, but the point that I want to get at is that his body had to be in a certain health setting or standing in order for him to extract wisdom. So that also goes for us too. And I don't know if brothers noticed this, but you know, there was a comment made to me. I'm not going to say by who, but if you look at the actual elders and apostles of GMS, I looked at an old video and you can kind of see how their faces were a little bit fattened. But now if you look at the elders and apostles now, you can see how they slimmed up. And it's because you can see it within their diet. They're actually, and they're promoting health too. Apostle Tahar always talks about how, you know, juice the watermelon with the rind, you know, because the rind is actually the healthiest part of the watermelon. Within that too, you know, just collectively drinking things that are healthy for you, scrutinizing the food that's really going into your body, because that's very important for the extraction of wisdom. Again, if y'all out here eating fucking top ramen and McDonald's, although it is lawful, that shit ain't lawful. Although it is lawful, you know, quote unquote, you think wisdom is gonna want to dwell in your body when you're all lethargic and you can't even read the Bible, you can't even read your book because of whatever which circumstances you feeling in your body, you feeling bodily ailments or what have you. Come on, bro. It also goes with semen retention. You know, how many times out of the week are you unclean? That's something that you also got to look at too. It's a contributing factor. You know, is wisdom at this specific point able to dwell within my body? I've been unclean for the past 7 days. Well, 6 days, you know. It should be 5. And honestly, it shouldn't even be 5. Really, you got to be moderate, because one day you go to camp and the other day it's the Sabbath, you know. But you got to ask yourself that, you know what I'm saying? Like, is wisdom actually capable of dwelling within my body as much? Like these are all contributing factors to all think about when it pertains to the extraction of wisdom and being able to obtain it, you know. Reformation just isn't within I follow the law, statutes, commandments, and that's about it. Nah, like, we're not going to be able to obtain the kingdom of heaven if we do not have the factor of wisdom. So we legitimately are forced to reform our lives in order for us to actually extract the most important and imperative trait that we could ever obtain, which is wisdom, you know. So I kind of said all that to say that in order to be an ally to immortality, there's so many steps prior to that has to be taken in order for you to get to that point. And I just explained and, you know, expounded on some of the points of what needs to be made in order for you to become an ally to immortality. And we all want to be allies to immortality because that is the reason why we're fighting. The reason why we are out there on the battlefield is because we are earnestly fighting to obtain one of those positions as an ally to immortality in this time, you know. But of course, when the 2/3 are refined and they make it through afterward, or they're regenerated, however else they come up in the kingdom of heaven, they're going to be allied and accompanied with immortality, but they're also going to be accompanied with everlasting shame and contempt, you know. But I was saying this in a sense of, how can we obtain wisdom? Because wisdom is what's going to allow us to tap into immortality. And I thought about all the contributing factors of how we can obtain wisdom and how wisdom will be extracted, and the ways in which we need to reform ourselves in order to actually gather that trait, which is legitimately given by Yahweh Shema Shai, you know. So with that, I pray the point was made. You know, I pray you were edified through this epistle. And I'm giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shema Shai, Shema Kalkadash, and Yakabaga, while the Rakaza claiming out by Aith with Shalom, while Barakum, love Khan, Shah. Until next time, I say Shalom.